Nope, we're gonna do this. The other call doesn't start for looks like we're moved to another 21 minutes.
There
So
you go.
welcome back to the 100 Millionaires Podcast. My name's Gualter Amarelo, your host, and I'm sitting here with Michael Schein and Mitch Jaworski, the greatest co-hosts that have ever existed on the 100 Millionaires Podcast. Mike, bring us in.
Massive income from passive income.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that sentence. I got a shirt coming. So, Mitch Jaworski, how do we get that massive income from passive income?
We organize and show Mike Schein how to sell call options on his Tesla so he can collect.
I do like the idea of organizing and collecting. So
exactly what covered calls
awesome.
are. Organize your shares and then collect on the options.
Because the point is not to work, it's to generate income. So today we're talking about options. Apparently, I want
not financial advice.
Teams, but yeah,
I told Mike Schein not financial advice.
Nice job. I appreciate that.
Not financial advice. Yeah, it turns out my 100 shares in Tesla could be earning me an extra $1,500 over the next year and a half, outside of the just whether it goes up or down, which is cool because Tesla does not pay a dividend, which is not points for Tesla. It's the only thing that I don't give it points for. The rest, I love its volatility. I love where it's gone, up and to the right over the last few years. But the option thing is cool. Gives us an extra way to make a little extra stream of income. It makes me think I should have bought more Tesla. If I had picked up more Tesla when it was more affordable, I could be doing what Mike is doing right now, which would be a much bigger chunk of money. Anyway, I've been doing some real estate. So I said I wasn't going to do real estate, but I picked one partner to go and do deals with and submitted an offer on a 16 unit in Springfield for, I think it was 1.2 million. And it looks like the COC without doing anything is 9%, Mitch. So not super exciting, but the repositioning gets us closer to a 15% cash on cash return, which is,
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that works for me. Anytime I can get double digits cash return, cash on cash. Hey, listen, anytime I can beat the stock market technically, which you're beating the stock market even more, because if your cash on cash is 10% or better, right? You're meeting the average. You're basically beating the average of the stock market, but that's just your cash position. You're also getting things you don't get with stocks, which is depreciation, aka write-offs,
ghost money,
benefits, principal pay down.
Yep.
Yum yums.
Amortization. Yep.
And then a possible appreciation. There's three additional benefits.
But don't forget my forced appreciation. I can get in there. I can fix this thing up. I can jack the rents up. So there's the cash on cash is there for the rents. But when I drive the rents up, I'm also forcing the appreciation on the building as well.
Yes,
so
you are.
There's market appreciation and forced appreciation. I did an article on Alchemist Nation last night, and I was sharing this principle, right? Buy with a 20% discount, raise rents, get 11% extra equity. Then, if the market appreciates 5% per year, which is, way lower than what it has, but obviously with the next possible correction right around the corner, maybe that doesn't exist. So I just kind of like, maybe that doesn't exist, whatever.
You got to be clear though, buy with a 20% discount, but that's factoring also like your costs, like your rehab costs and whatnot.
Yep.
Because like I actually bought a property, I bought that 5 unit and I bought it at more than a 20% discount. But if my rental budget goes higher, which I'll openly admit, like decent deal, not my best deal. I bought it more so because I want another property in that town, and it's still going to cash flow good, but it's probably not going to work out to a 20% discount because my rental budget's probably going to be 75, right? So that'll put me at, I bought it for 350. That'll put me at 4.25. Conservative, the building's worth 500, could be worth 550, 575, but I always play conservative. So if that's the case, I'm shy of that. I'm at what, 15% discount, which woe is me. Only 15% discount.
You might make it on the forced appreciation, right?
Well, I'm saying like my low number on the forced appreciation is 500.
Got it. So
yeah. So I'm saying worst case, I bought it at a 15% discount. Best case, I'm at 25.
Most of the market, smart people are saying that we're going to have a 15% correction. They're not calling for a full 20, although typically the market does go 15 to 20% correction.
I hope we have a correction. I want some discounted prices.
I don't see it happening anytime
Neither
soon.
do I. There's not enough inventory.
Right. and there shouldn't be enough inventory for at least what's the number I keep saying, 2025, 2026. So that is 100% based on the generational shift, right? Silver tsunami has not hit, is on its way. You know, you're seeing the waves pull back, but you haven't seen the tsunami hit us yet. So
I guess what I don't understand is every time I hear, like, I had a billionaire tell me that he's not buying anything now, he's completely out. But at the same time, I just don't understand where the inventory comes from. Maybe I haven't been through enough cycles, but it seems like the inventory is very low and everybody, all the local investors are buying right now.
yeah. Where does the inventory come from? It's the best
This
question.
is the wild card, right? This is the
Who's-
wild card that's messing everybody up, is because like
Yeah.
all the other ingredients are there for there to be a pullback, but then there's this inventory problem. That
Right.
just is jamming
right.
up the whole mechanism and the whole, formula.
You've got to ask the question, who's holding the existing inventory and what does the existing inventory look like? And currently it's a lot of single family homes, which are currently held by people who are over 65. And that baby boom generation, the silver tsunami, just has not come to terms with a need to sell. They
Right.
need to live. They need to live where they are and they have no desire to move, right? So when that hits the market, though, you're talking about the biggest generation dumping their single family homes. And when that occurs, and a lot of them, if you think about the properties we've bought, every property I've bought over the last decade has been from somebody who's in their 60s. So like all the multifamilies that we're buying, there's mom and pops that are, 50s, 60s, 70s. So when that generation decides they're done, there's so many of them who do not have themselves set up in trust. So many of them who do not have their kids lined up for anything. Like there's just, you're going to see a probate situation. You're going to see properties on the market that just, it's going to be a mess. And that's where the inventory comes from. They are developing. I mean, they're certainly developing in major cities like Tampa, Miami, Dallas, Austin, like all the major cities are fucking slammed with cranes in the air. So they're creating luxury inventory, but we don't have that stock of, first blue collar worker inventory, suburban inventory. That's what everybody wants.
So quick tip of the day is make friends with probation attorneys because it will pay off over the next decade.
Bro, probate attorneys are the money. Or financial planners, because
I'm sending Mike to probate.
who do financial planners make all their money from? People in their 60s selling shitty products, right? Like they're peddling annuities, and so like that group of folks are going to be very in tune with what's happening. And a lot of them are like, what you should do is sell your house, buy annuities, sell your house, get into an infinite banking system. So
Right.
there's going to be a wave of people finally like releasing their properties. And like, yeah, you said it the other day, like we're not in a liquidity crunch. People are tight, like some people are tight, but investors are still feeling ambitious, still feeling like, I got money.
Yeah. The economy on a whole is actually not in a liquidity crunch, which is crazy considering like we're seeing bank failures and it's like, how does this make sense? But if you look at all the economic data and the gauges, like we're actually not in a tight liquidity economy right now.
No.
It's just tighter than it was, but it's still technically loose, or it's loose-ish, because that's how
people still
loose
don't
it
want to
was.
work. Right, my virtual assistants are still cheaper than the Americans here, so like there's still like a whole bunch of people who just don't want to work for other people. And like one of the things I'm seeing is VAs that don't cost as little as they used to. Right, I used to be able to find VAs for $2 an hour. Finding that's far and few between now.
None of that anymore.
But I've been doing calls with some of my team, my international team out there, and the Philippines and Pakistan, and it's interesting that. Like if you look at the dollar, the dollar itself, like houses, I was looking at house prices because that's part of the dream management program. It's like, hey, what do you want? What are your goals? How much do you save? And the home prices are like 2 million to 40 million Philippine pesos, which breaks down.
What is that, like 100K?
Not even like you're talking about $35,000 house to about 100K.
I'm just gonna move to the Philippines
150K.
and be a king.
Bro, I feel the same way. Like some of the calls, like one of the girls, she told me, she's like, yeah, like I like to go to the beaches. We got a lot of beautiful beaches here, so I like to take time off. And as I'm listening, I'm thinking Philippines sounds amazing. like, I'm looking at the house prices.
I mean, I'm not, to be honest with you, like obviously some stuff is cheaper, but it's not like it's super cheap. But if Roatan was like half the cost it actually is, I probably would already just moved because I would be like, done. I'm a king, and I'm only 2 hours from Miami.
Proximity
Right?
to America, right? Like I think that goes a long way. Proximity to the US.
Like literally, like me, like it's like I could still go to New York to see the family easily. It's just all right. Instead of flying 3 hours, I'm flying 5.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like the price difference and the options that are available. Like I'm learning more and more. Like I might have to get my international passports and spend some time outside of the US just because I want to know what it's like to be able to live in a fucking palace.
Right?
You know?
Wow.
But I mean the internet seems a little slower out there. So one caveat.
I was
Depends on where you
thinking
are.
Thailand.
Thailand's super cheap.
Brenda said she really wanted to go there, and so I started watching YouTubes, and there was a guy who's lived there for 40 years and bought a place 20 years ago. I feel like he's like a hippie. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like
if you
he's
move to
about-
Thailand, you got to be a hippie.
Maybe like 70s, you're like, fuck it, I'm never going back to the United States, that type of thing. And
Yeah.
he has, his house is like a palace. And then I can't remember the numbers, but it was like something really low, like $100 a month or whatever. And he has like a house, like just, 4,000 square foot house with servants who he pays to, do all this stuff for him. And it was like, yeah. Isn't that your landscaper guy? I always come back to the landscaping guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 40,
Half the
50
year.
trucks, like half the year in Thailand, half the year
Yeah.
in Boston.
Wow.
So
Yeah. He's got the right idea.
he's smart because most of the other ones are like, can I plow? Let me plow. And it's like, then if they're plowing, they might be successful, get those commercial accounts like CVS and things like that. But you're literally up all night. Like, because I know like the one guy who plows my personal driveway and my office.
Yep.
But he's like, I'll get there like 5 a.m. because I got to do the CVS ones first. And it's like, he's up all night, and I'm sure he gets paid a lot, but I'd rather go to Thailand.
Yeah, my
Heck
mentor
yeah.
used to do it. He actually just, I think he still plows his own, but I think he's getting away from it. He stopped plowing his. He had like a big property management company in Fall River, so he used to plow for everybody, and he's been getting away from that. And I think he's finally getting away from plowing his own stuff. Don't quote me on that because he does now have a 350 Ford 350 that I think to plow. Well, now it's to pull his camper, so who knows? But like I would love to see him not doing that anymore because it's so much. It's those late hours. You're back through the parking lot 2-3 times. He goes back and forth. He's got stuff in New Bedford, Fall River, so he's like back and forth across the highway in the snow. Like nuts, man. Hard pass. I always spent money on that. But yeah, one of the benefits of investing in New England, right, Mitch?
Yes.
Mike, you're
gotta pay
invested
the
back there
snowplow
too.
guy. I'm so excited about that while I'm
there,
staying in
yeah.
Florida.
It's weird to pay a snowplow bill from Roatan.
Welcome to my world,
I'm
Mike.
like, is there snow there? I don't even know if it's like an inch or two, but the guy, we have this one driveway on a place in East Greenwich, and basically all he has to do, and he's awesome, he doesn't charge us, is just push straight back, and then there's like a drop off and a
Let it
neighbor's
go.
where they just have weeds growing. It's probably to their benefit, but we just push it that way and he's done. So 1 back, maybe 2 back, like that's it, and he's done. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's an awesome property. We've got one where there's nowhere to put the snow. It's
I
it's
hate that.
36 parking spots with a cement building in the middle, and then 2 huge retaining walls on either side on a corner, so that like we have to pile the snow in a parking lot, and it takes
That's the
forever to
worst.
melt.
Yeah. I got a property too, one of them where there's just nowhere really to put the snow.
Yeah, I've considered like going over there with a torch and just be like, "What snow? There was snow and now it's gone. I'm melted."
Dude, I remember I was up there a couple winters ago where there was just a lot of snow that year, and we were literally acquiring a property, and we had a snowplow guy come, and I could have skied off the hill that was created.
Yep.
Like, he just pushed it to the end of the driveway, like in front of like where like there was like whatever stairs, and like he didn't have a lot of room to work with, so he just kept packing it, and he like built this mountain that was like 3 times my height. I was like, this is insane.
So yeah, I guess I just put another offer in on a property in Massachusetts, and I'm thinking about that now.
It's like
Damn it.
my least favorite thing about Massachusetts is having to spend money on snow removal. Like the heat thing, whatever, because obviously in Florida, I don't have to deal with that, but it is what it is. But yeah, the snow, I just look at it every time we have like a bad winter season. I'm just like, unnecessary expenses. Why am I investing here?
Bro, I'm with you. I'm looking at Orlando. I'm hoping that market crashes soon. It looks like it's softening a little bit. So hopefully that one goes down. I would love to get into Miami. I would actually, honestly, I'd love to be able to tap into Tampa. It's just I can't at these prices right now. I just can't justify it.
Miami's worse.
I know. I would,
I'm
but I
gonna
would
force
love
my
to
way
have.
into a expensive market. I'll do Tampa than Miami, because Miami's ridiculous.
I agree. The challenge is Tampa is absolutely ridiculous as well. You know,
Wow.
like it's like Boston. Like I never invested in Boston because like I was always concerned about just how much I was spending and the lack of cash flow. Like that was always a
So,
major concern with the
You
Boston
invested what? About an hour outside of Boston, correct?
cash flow market, tertiary market. Yep.
So then why don't you do the same with Tampa, an hour outside of Tampa?
I want to get some access to appreciation, right? So like that's the
Florida.
thing.
There will be appreciation, because
Yeah.
they keep building and they keep expanding out further and further. Case in point, east, like where I'm at, Port St. Lucie 20 years ago was a 50% of like nothingness. Now it's pretty built up, and the house is like, my friends that bought their house there 4 years ago,
Yeah.
like they're getting offers for like 75% more than they bought it for.
But the inventory I want to buy, it doesn't exist here. Like I would have to build multifamily in order to make
Well, that's my problem with Ocala, is that there's no multifamily to buy. I have to build it.
right. I mean, the
So-
only way I could invest happily here is if I picked up a portfolio, right? If somebody was selling 20, 30 units, 40 units, there was a bunch of single families, like I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there is multifamily. It's just, you gotta. It's not as common in the tertiary markets.
No, Tampa's got multifamilies, beautiful, gorgeous.
know that.
Panel side, like the whole thing is all built up. Like those are gorgeous. The challenge is they're all A-class property built in the last 10 years. So, you know, getting into those
everything was
units,
built
you're
in the last
paying
20 years.
$400,000 a unit.
Yes, it's very different than New England, where everything was built 200 years ago,
Yeah,
not 20 years ago.
yeah. Hence buying back in New England still.
I mean, because at the end of the day, what's the play in this current market? Finding value add properties that you can buy at a discount.
Yep.
Like if you want to find distressed properties that have a bunch of deferred maintenance, welcome to New England.
No,
Same thing like the Midwest. I mean, there's a lot of that too, even though it's not as old. I mean, it's still older, but I mean, there's just a lot of deferred maintenance still in New England from landlords that have held a property for decades and have barely raised rents and have barely done any work. And the problem is, I shouldn't say the problem, the opportunity and the key is buying those at the right price. Don't overpay for them, because you're going to have to do the work.
Yep.
You know, you're going to raise the rents, but you got to do the work also. I mean,
Man.
unless you want to be like a super slumlord, but
No.
it's not my jam.
No.
It's not my bag, baby.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So the other challenge is 16 units is not enough. So now, like, if this offer gets accepted, we got to go.
Oh, you got to buy more in
aggressive.
Springfield.
Yeah. So like we put in offers in 30s and 40s. So it's like they'd have to all kind of close in order for me to be happy with this, because 16 is like just not enough to be interested. So whatever, we'll see. We're starting.
Wow.
I think we're starting to just gotta. I see all the other Alchemist Nation couples all snapping up properties. I got to get going again.
Wait, they are? Who's buying properties? I can't even keep up.
Kim Rodriguez, John,
They're always buying.
Melanie, and Steve.
Mel and Steve, those are the
What? Did they get something new?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
always
why
buying
not?
something.
Right
But-
on.
Gualter?
Yeah, give me one sec, Chris. We're just gonna end this podcast, guys. My call's here.
Boom. It's go
Boom.
time.
So,
No doubt.
Mike, take us out of here, brother.
Massive income from passive income. Good to see you guys.
Mitch, how do we do it?
We organize and we
Oh.
collect.
That's it. Cheers to your
Peace.
success, your choice.
Always
always
work with the
best.
best. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.